it's a dream come true. It's unbelievable to see, because we always heard about people saying about Graceland and how it's beautiful things, but we don't have we don't know how big is the place, the proportion of the place. Just only get in and you imagine that Elvis was there, man. It's something, it's a dream, man. It's an emotional experience, indescribable.
I love that. Graceland is amazing. It's so important to see all the things from the Elvis history, and I love to be there. I really love it to be there.
Pretty good through. Get out to the meditation garden. Cried like a baby. And that's the truth. Just did. Something about it.
My first trip to the mansion was in 2006, and I was here with my mother, my grandmother. And I honestly don't know who was more excited, my mother or me. It was just fantastic. It was amazing how one man could accomplish so much.
God. Well, the first thing, we got on the tour bus going across the street with the headphones on. They start playing "Welcome to My World," and you know, I cry pretty easy anyway. I'm pretty softy, you know. I hate to admit that, but I am. But when that song started playing, I saw those gates, and we're across the street going through the gates. Man, I just lost it, you know. And it's just it's unbelievable, the feelings that go through you, you know. And it's hard to believe all these years later. I still can't believe he's gone, you know. And but we know, you know. But it's just an amazing thing. And then you go out to the grave site, you know. It's just. It's almost more than you can take sometimes, but I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, actually, this is my second year here to do the performance-wise, but I've came here about 3 times in the past just to check out Graceland.
Home. It was homey, you know. It was great hospitality, like stepping on there, because you could still feel his presence, you know, when you walk up there. And it was the greatest thing. It just felt like home. It just felt like, you know, he was still there, opening the doors to you and inviting you in, and just felt amazing, man, for my first time. I cried.
It was like a religious experience, you know, and yeah, I always thought the place was bigger, but it was a lot smaller than I thought it would be, because when you say mansion, you think big marble staircases and rooms that you could land a plane in, but it was comfortable, it was cozy, it was all Elvis, because I mean, it was just the most exotic, strange color combinations and fabrics, and it was definitely the 70s. But it was, you could feel Elvis. You could feel him in the place. And it just made you wonder, well, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I was there for a moment. I was actually in the house. And when I was walking through it, it was magical, it was mysterious. It was like, you just wanted to stand there and not move and just absorb the whole thing and just soak it right in, which is what I did a couple of times. After having seen it, you know, so many times I'd just walk in and stand in one spot and just think and absorb. And that's the best way to experience it. Not with the headset and not with, see, when I first did it, there were no headsets. They had the people standing there telling you the history of the house and of each room. But the best way to do it, no headsets, none of that, and just stand there and just absorb and just feel the vibe.
I didn't feel like I belonged there. I don't know why. I just is it okay, Elvis? I'm here. Can you hear me, Elvis? Are you here? There's just something about it wasn't right. So that's what I felt like.
I tell you, I couldn't wait to get here the very first time. It was an amazing adventure for me. It's like the people that were with me, they were like dragging their feet and being slow, and I was way further in line, and I had to wait for them. It's like, what are you doing, people? Let's hurry up! I've been wanting to see this my whole life. You know, I mean, I'm probably the biggest Elvis fan that there is. You know, especially with me being you know, a tribute artist. I'm watching constantly to study, you know, so I'm watching him probably 5 or 6 hours a day, you know, just to make sure I stay sharp on my skills and everything, and doing everything I can to try to create that illusion of Elvis Presley on stage. I'll tell you, it's pretty cool, because first year I got here, you know, being an Elvis Graceland tour rookie, get on the bus,
and they start playing the music, you know, they start telling you about the tour and everything else. And this is a big thing for me to see Graceland for the very first time. And then they play through the headphones, "Welcome to My World." And the headphones are so clear, it's like, holy cow, he's singing to me, you know, it's like, my God, I'm going to his house to see where Elvis grew up, and I thought, man, this is an honor. So it was just awesome.
When I first went into Graceland, I was 7 years old, and when I walked into that door and walked right into his living room, I tell you, there was chill bumps that came all over me. I might have been 7 years old then, but I knew that was a special moment. And even to this day, even after all the times I've went, I still get chill bumps when I walk into that door. I feel like I can just feel Elvis there.
To actually tell you the truth, I actually was rushed the first time in 2012 because it was the 35th anniversary, so it was my first time. I think I was sweating in that shuttle. I was just so nervous, and you know, I just stepped. I remember I got out of the shuttle and there was just heaps of people, and obviously you got your introduction of going into the mansion, and they gave you a little bit of history, which I all know. But then I walked into the house and it was just so rushed, and I just kind of, you know, was trying to get everything. But they said it's okay, you can come back as many times as you want during the day, and I took advantage of that. I went in on that day, I went in about 3 or 4 times and I took everything in, and the mansion just spoke to me, and I've been dreaming of that day since when I started, you know. I was dreaming, you know, since that when I was about 9 or 10 years old, just kept dreaming, going, I've got to get to Graceland one day, got to get to Graceland and show, you know, and get to America and, you know, let them see my tribute to Elvis, because I really do it from the heart. You know, it's a pretty positive performance in my tribute, but yeah, the mansion is just so surreal, and there's just nothing like it. It gives you goosebumps. You can definitely feel his spirit there, and I just love the man.
The first time I went was actually the 30th anniversary. I came out here for a day. Me and a few of my buddies came out, went to Nashville for a day, went to Memphis for a day, and we came straight here, and it was right in the middle of Elvis Week, 30th anniversary, and oh man, it was so overwhelming. You know, every time you walk through it, you see something different. You take a little something different home with you about Elvis. But you know, I think what gets me is just what all he accomplished in the short time he was here, and what all he's still accomplishing. I mean, I don't see any other entertainer that can pull off what he's pulled off 40 years after his death.
It was breathtaking, because I got through it. It was really neat. It was, you know, got through all the rooms. But when I got to that racquetball room, that one got me. And actually, I just went through it again this time, and it still got me. That's the one that gets me.
And it gave me chills when I walked through that door, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. My favorite room is the jungle room, I would have to say, because it's just so unique and abstract. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember it was my mom and dad and I came down here right after they opened the house in '82. We flew down here. Yeah, that was back in '82 when just after they had opened the house up for tours. My mom and dad and I flew down here, and I remember it was just an awesome experience getting to see it. I remember you know, I always pictured Graceland from the photos I'd seen of outside of it. I pictured like this palace thing with these high ceilings and all that stuff, and it was very homey. I mean, it's very ornate. It's beautiful. It's cool. I mean, it's extremely cool. But it just wasn't. It was more homey than I expected it to be. You know, like of course everybody has, you know, gold-plated stuff in their home, but you know, hey, gold-plated woodwork. But it's very classy. I love it.
It was fantastic. It's just something that I've seen on documentaries and films, and to actually go there was, I couldn't take it all in. I had to go through twice, because the first time it was just too much to take in. But it was fantastic.
I was waiting for him to come down the stairs. You know, his presence is so strong. You know, I remember going through the gates for the first time and then singing that song, "Welcome to My World." I was thinking that I only saw this place in movies, and to know that it was real, you know, you didn't know if you could touch anything or whatever. It's just really cool. So there was no feeling like that being there.
I haven't actually walked through it yet, but I walked up to the mansion. We got here early, and I walked around to where Elvis rests, and yeah, it was just so emotional, so breathtaking. Like, you walk in and Graceland's so beautiful. You can't even describe how good, like, beautiful it is.